And TMZ reports you're on the LAPD's radar in connection to the Young Dolph shooting.
Being home never had one argument.
Being back home sounded perfect. No arguments, no drama. Great for the camera. But anyone who knows real street circles knows tension never appears out of nowhere. And one major witness claims the whole situation ran way deeper than people thought. Word is the energy kicked off inside his own camp. Now officials are finally catching hints, and this video breaks down Yo Gotti reacting to his sentence and the long-running beef that had Memphis on edge. Memphis, Tennessee, the city that created legends like 3-6 Mafia and shaped that raw southern trap sound, ended up watching two major names locked in a rivalry that shook the whole scene. This wasn't some simple rap disagreement. This was Yo Gotti and Young Dolph.
Who had a hit on whose head?
King Juke had a hit on Dog Head.
A story full of pride, street politics, and non-stop tension that changed everything. To understand what really happened during that tough moment in November 2021, you gotta rewind to where the pressure truly started. We talk in 2014, when Young Dolph, born Adolph Robert Thornton Jr., was hustling independently, building his name without depending on anyone. He chose to bet on himself and build his own brand, Paper Route Empire.
It's Ebro in the morning, Lord Styles and Rosenberg, and Young Dolph is in the building.
Yo Gotti was already shining in the Memphis scene, and when he noticed the young star rising, he tried bringing him into CMG. For most new rappers trying to escape tough surroundings, a co-sign from a Memphis OG like Gotti would have felt like winning the lottery, a shortcut straight into the industry. But Young Dolph wasn't moving like everyone else. He had his own vision, his own team, and he wasn't switching up for anybody. So when Dolph turned down the CMG offer, telling Gotti he was good building his own lane, something shifted fast in the Memphis atmosphere.
Listen, Young Dolph, here's the thing. We clap for people, but your friends, they ain't clap.
Interviews and public statements later hinted that a few folks around Gotti didn't take that rejection lightly. What started as a simple business choice quietly turned into messy street tension that kept growing. By February 2016, the pressure was too obvious to ignore. Dolph dropped his debut album with a bold title, King of Memphis, basically challenging Gotti's long-claimed status as the city's top rapper. From Dolph's point of view, this whole situation was way deeper than business decisions or record deals. In a later interview, one that helped people understand the real tension, Dolph explained exactly why he said hell nah to ever linking up with Yo Gotti. He felt the vibe was shady. Dolph noticed Gotti throwing his own artists under the bus just to impress someone new, talking down on Zilla and Alito like they didn't matter.
Is that true, false, overstated?
That told Dolph everything about the kind of operation Gotti was running and what level of loyalty, or lack of it, he could expect if he ever joined CMG. From 2016 into 2017, the feud shifted from quiet jabs to full-blown public tension. Black Youngsta, one of CMG's most high-energy artists, started dropping diss tracks aimed at Dolph, and even filming videos with his team posted up in Dolph's South Memphis area, trying to show they weren't scared of anything.
The first time I even met Lil Dude, go in the studio. First time. He sent everybody out the studio. Like, let me holler at Dolph. Like, man, you got your own everything. You popping. Like, but you got the money, you got your team, you got this, you got that. Like, bro, I'm telling you, we can do this, we can do that.
The message was loud. This wasn't basic rap competition anymore. This was personal, high-pressure energy on full display. Then February 2017 hit, and Dolph made his stance impossible to ignore. He dropped Play with Yo B Doll, a diss track that called out Yo Gotti by name and took the disrespect to a whole new level. That track wasn't just music. Dolph was sending a full-blown message toward everything tied to CMG. Yo Gotti later responded with Don't Beef With Me, bringing Black Youngsta onto the track. But by then, the situation had already shifted into something way more serious. The energy in the streets turned intense, and things stopped feeling like music competition.
You ain't like Zilla. I ain't gotta hold your hand like Zilla. You ain't like Starlito. I ain't gotta hold your hand like Starlito. I ain't gotta babysit you like them. It's my first time meeting you. You gonna really sit and downplay your artist and throw your artist up on the bus to try to persuade me in to come over there?
On February 25th, 2017, during CIAA weekend in Charlotte, North Carolina, Dolph's SUV got attacked in a wild incident that made national headlines. The moment was so bold that the whole industry started buzzing. Dolph managed to walk away unharmed thanks to protective panels in his vehicle, but the warning behind the situation was impossible to ignore. Black Youngsta was briefly taken in for questioning about the incident, but the situation didn't move forward because the evidence didn't match up.
Really overstated, you know what I'm saying? Because it's just like this, like Yo Gotti.
Then, just 7 months later in September 2017, another unexpected situation happened in Los Angeles near the Lowe's Hollywood Hotel, where Dolph ended up needing immediate medical care after being seriously hurt. What made the whole thing even more shocking was that Yo Gotti happened to be at the same hotel, leading to nonstop questions from fans and media. Authorities later confirmed they had nothing connecting him to the situation, and no charges were filed. Dolph flipped his near-fatal moment into a bold flex, acting like nothing could stop him that easily. But behind the bravado, everyone knew the truth.
Gotti was one of the first ones. He might been the first one to come like, man, dawg, let's do a paper route in CMG.
This feud had gone way past music and turned into several real-life danger situations. Still, both artists kept trying to play it cool in public, pretending things weren't as serious as they looked. In a 2017 Breakfast Club interview, Yo Gotti pulled up acting like everything was smooth and claiming they were cool. He painted himself as a mentor who simply wanted to help Dolph, making it seem like he was just disappointed when Dolph didn't accept the offer. But the non-stop incidents happening around them were telling a completely different story. Even with both sides pretending the tension wasn't extreme, their relationship stayed toxic and unpredictable. Meanwhile, Dolph kept building his independent empire, stacking wins without any major label behind him. His 2020 album Rich Slave climbed all the way to number 4 on the Billboard 200, proving once again that staying independent was the right move for him, at least on the business side. As time passed, a strange quiet settled over Memphis.
But when this shit break back over, I want 10% of what you make, nigga. I'm saving you in a crucial time, so don't think I'm trying to get over on you. Cause you don't want to get put out. That'll ruin your career.
The 2020 pandemic slowed everything down, and for a moment, it felt like the tension between both camps was cooling off while they focused on their music and their labels. CMG was winning big with artists like Moneybagg Yo going mainstream, and Paper Route Empire was shining too, especially with Key Glock turning into a serious force in the game. But underneath that calm, the real problems never got fixed. The questions about who truly ran Memphis, the personal disrespect, the past dangerous situations, none of it was settled or forgiven. It was like a powder keg sitting in the middle of the neighborhood, waiting for the wrong moment to spark.
So it's like a red alert the first time I met him.
You feel like
I can't
you're gonna say
respect
about
that.
me.
And sadly, that spark hit in November 2021, changing everything in Memphis forever. November 17th, 2021 started off like a regular Wednesday in the M-Town. The sun was out, people were handling their day, and young Dolph had pulled up to his city for something positive, a community turkey giveaway, real hometown love.
And TMZ reports you're on the LAPD's radar in connection to the young Dolph shooter.
Me and home never had one argument. You know what I'm saying? Ever in life. We never touched each other. Ever in life. We never exchanged no money ever in life. You know what I'm saying? The facts is just, I'm the biggest rapper from Memphis.
Dolph stopped at Makita's Homemade Butter Cookies, a black-owned bakery on Airways Boulevard that he always showed love to online. It was one of his go-to spots, a place where he could chill, support his people, and grab some sweets without all the pressure of fame. It was meant to be a calm stop, nothing out of the ordinary. But what the surveillance cameras later recorded turned into a shocking moment that shook the entire hip-hop world and left Memphis heartbroken. A white Mercedes pulled up in front of the store, and two masked individuals stepped out, both carrying high-powered equipment. In broad daylight, right outside a business Dolph supported for years, they unleashed a sudden and intense barrage toward him with zero hesitation.
I actually was helping them. I really just wanted to sign them, you know what I mean? Like, giving them advice, letting them come out on my shows. You know what I'm saying? Like telling them how the game goes, letting my people work with them. You know what I mean? Like to advise them on how to build this company up and all that stuff. It was cool.
Court testimony later revealed how the moment unfolded, with Cornelia Smith, one of the individuals involved, eventually becoming a state witness and explaining the entire situation from the inside. His statements painted a disturbing picture of how everything played out. The medical examiner reported 6 entry wounds and 3 exits across Dolph's chest and stomach area, plus a bunch of other injuries spread across his body.
Yo Gotti was texting my phone for 2 years straight. What you doing, bro? What you working on, bro? Let's do this. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's do that. Like, it's cool.
The shots came from different angles and happened so fast that it looked like a coordinated high-pressure ambush, the kind meant to overwhelm someone completely. But the surveillance footage revealed something else just as shocking. Dolph's brother, Marcus Thornton, was right there when everything erupted. Instead of freezing up, Marcus reacted instantly, returning fire at the attackers and trying to protect his brother with real courage. He even managed to strike both individuals, hitting Cornelia Smith in the arm and back. But even with Marcus fighting to defend family, the situation had already gone too far to pull Dolph out safely.
We, the jury, find the defendant guilty of conspiracy to commit first-degree murder as charged in count 1 of the indictment. We, the jury, find the defendant guilty of first-degree murder as charged in count 2 of the indictment.
Young Dolph passed away on the spot, his life ending at just 36 years old. The news ripped through Memphis and the whole hip-hop world instantly. Artists, fans, and fellow rappers flooded social media with emotional messages, sending love and sharing memories. The bakery eventually had to shut down for good, unable to keep operating in a place tied to such a heartbreaking moment. But while Memphis was grieving, the streets were buzzing with heavy questions. Who planned this? And why did it even happen? Authorities moved fast, using phone data, surveillance clips, and witness statements to piece everything together.
And we, the jury, find the defendant guilty of convicted felon in possession of a firearm as charged in count 3 of the indictment.
Mr. Johnson, the jury having found you guilty of conspiracy to commit first-degree murder, and convicted felon in possession of a firearm.
They identified the 2 individuals involved as Justin Johnson, known as Straight Drop, an aspiring rapper himself, and Cornelia Smith. The white Mercedes got traced to a location connected to Hernandez Govan, who investigators claimed was the one who organized the whole setup. By January 2022, Johnson, Smith, and Govan were all in custody. The investigation exposed some unsettling details about planning and financial motives behind the situation. But the biggest shock didn't drop until much later.
As the 13th juror, I affirm this verdict. As to the first-degree murder, I sentence you to life in prison.
During trial proceedings in September 2024, prosecutors delivered a massive revelation. They claimed that Anthony Big Jook Mims, Yo Gotti's brother and a major CMG figure, allegedly offered a $100,000 payout targeting young Dolph. According to Cornelia Smith's testimony, the 2 individuals were promised $40,000 each, with Hernandez Govan supposedly getting a $10,000 cut for arranging everything. If these claims were real, it meant the whole situation was the end result of a feud that started over a simple record deal rejection back in 2014. Smith's testimony painted the picture of how planned out everything was. He admitted they had been tracking Dolph's movements, watching his patterns, and waiting for a moment when he seemed unprotected. So when they saw Dolph pull up to Makita's Cookies that afternoon, they treated it like the opportunity they had been waiting for.
Then he just took a left turn somewhere.
See, this why this beef shit corny. You supposed to get tunnel vision, get yours, and get the hell out the way. Dolph said it was beef. He just said it won't. We all think telling the truth, because we did lose a real one in the process.
Justin Johnson was found guilty in September 2024 on the most serious charge and was given a life sentence with no chance for release. The trial laid out every detail of the planning, showing messages, movement logs, and timelines that match perfectly with what happened. Phone records placed Johnson near the location before and after the incident, and surveillance from his apartment showed him wearing clothes that matched the individual on camera. The evidence stacked up fast and left no room for doubt. Smith's testimony gave the most detailed breakdown of what happened that day, including the alleged role Big Jook played in setting everything up. But here's the wild part. Smith said he only ever received $800 out of the $40,000 he was supposedly promised before he got picked up. Just $800 for something that tore a family apart and shook the entire country. Hernandez Govan's trial came later in August 2025 and ended with a stunning not guilty verdict. After only 3 hours of discussion, the jury cleared him on every charge tied to planning the attack. His lawyer, Manny Aurora, argued that prosecutors leaned too heavily on shaky testimony and circumstantial pieces, especially Smith's statements, since he clearly had motives to talk in exchange for a lighter sentence. The verdict left the hip-hop world frustrated and confused. If Govan wasn't the organizer, then who was? How far up did this whole situation really go? And what about all the claims involving Big Jook? Sadly, Big Jook never got the chance to respond to any of those questions. On January 13th, 2024, just over 2 years after Young Dolph lost his life, Anthony Mims passed away after an incident outside a Memphis restaurant during a family gathering, leaving even more mystery surrounding the entire situation. The incident was described as a targeted hit, with individuals pulling up in a white Ford Explorer before everything unfolded. Big Jook's final Instagram post felt eerie afterward, reading, "They don't want to face you, they want to snake you. Stay alert too. Stay alive. Watch your back at all times." His words sounded like a warning he already felt deep in his spirit. To this day, nobody has been charged in Big Jook's passing, though plenty of people in the streets believe it was direct payback for what happened to Young Dolph. The cycle of retaliation that started with two artists clashing had now taken another life, making it feel like the chaos would never stop. Gotti's silence and the streets' verdict. After Young Dolph's passing and all the claims linking Gotti's brother to the situation, Yo Gotti ended up in a complicated spot. This is the same person who had previously been mentioned in connection with the tense 2017 incidents but was never charged, and who publicly insisted he had no real issue with Dolph. Now the streets were asking whether his own brother played a role in setting off the events that ended Dolph's life. And Yo Gotti's reaction since then has stood out for one major reason. Because of what he hasn't said. He hasn't released any meaningful public statement about Dolph's passing or about the accusations involving Big Jook. When reporters reached out during the trial phases, CMG refused to comment. And Gotti himself has stayed completely silent online. No posts about the situation, no mention of the trial, and no response to the rumors involving his brother's alleged involvement. The same guy who spent years defending himself against claims that he had anything to do with past incidents involving Dolph suddenly had nothing to say now that the accusations hit way closer to home. His silence stood out heavy, especially compared to how openly he used to talk about Dolph and their relationship. Think back to that 2017 Breakfast Club interview where Gotti insisted they never had real issues and everything just took a left turn. Now, not a word. But Gotti wasn't the only one raising eyebrows. Another figure in this whole situation had people talking too, Big Jook. Even though there's no confirmed footage of him speaking directly about Dolph's passing, social media clips popped up showing someone identified as Big Jook making bold, provocative comments on Instagram Live. The implications from clips like that, mixed with the trial testimony about an alleged $100,000 payout, painted a seriously unsettling picture. Whether Yo Gotti knew anything about any behind-the-scenes planning or not, the fact that his own brother was accused of playing a major role in his longtime rival's downfall made the silence even louder. It's important to point out that Yo Gotti himself has never been charged with anything related to Young Dolph's passing. There isn't any public evidence linking him directly to the situation or suggesting he knew anything beforehand. All accusations were aimed specifically at Big Jook. And now that Big Jook is gone and can't testify or clarify what he did or didn't do, the full truth may never be known. But in the streets, where people judge you by your actions, your loyalty, and how you carry yourself, Gotti's silence has stood louder than any diss track ever could. In October 2024, WAC 100 warned that Gotti could be the next one facing legal trouble, even hinting that CMG might get labeled as a full criminal organization if certain charges ever came down. That comment had the entire hip-hop world watching Gotti's camp closely. Even though no charges have come out so far, the rumors alone hit Gotti's street reputation harder than any lyrical battle or industry rivalry ever did. CMG has definitely felt the impact, though not enough to shut down the whole operation. The label is still active, with artists like Glorilla and Moneybagg Yo continuing to stack hits and chart placements. Gotti himself is keeping his business moves going, even announcing a new project, Mr. 14 Months, set to drop in August 2025. What made everything even more heartbreaking is that the chaos didn't stop with Young Dolph's passing, or even with Big Jook losing his life. Memphis has been dealing with what many describe as a full cycle of retaliatory incidents, with multiple losses rumored to be tied to the long-running CMG versus PRE tension, even though not all claims have been proven or confirmed in court. In September 2022, LA Cash Desto, the daughter of Hernandez Govan, lost her life in a roadside attack. In June 2023, Joshua Taylor, known in the streets as CEO Tez and previously listed as a person of interest in the Dolph case, was found unresponsive. Then in August 2023, Black Youngsta's brother lost his life during an incident at a gas station. Each situation added even more pain to an already overwhelming chapter, showing how far these issues reached beyond the original two artists. The hip-hop world has watched everything with sadness, frustration, and anger, wondering when the cycle would finally stop. Young Dolph's cousin and protege, Key Glock, has continued carrying PRE on his back, honoring Dolph's legacy through music and business moves. He's kept that independent, self-made mindset alive, the same mindset Dolph preached until his final days. Glock has spoken publicly about staying committed to keeping Dolph's name strong in the city and in the industry, even while dealing with his own grief and the complicated Memphis scene after everything that happened. In March 2022, Key Glock dropped a tribute project titled Long Live Young Dolph, featuring the track Proud, which became his first song to hit the Billboard Hot 100. A powerful salute to the man who mentored him and built PRE from the ground up. The track became both a celebration of Dolph's legacy and a raw expression of the hurt his passing caused everyone who loved him. It was the kind of real, heartfelt tribute that Yo Gotti never offered publicly, and the streets definitely noticed that difference. Young Dolph's family has also worked non-stop to protect his legacy through community work and outreach. His fiancée, Mia J., has been pushing hard for safer communities and continuing Dolph's tradition of giving back to Memphis, helping people who need it most. The city even honored him by renaming a street Adolph Young Dolph Thornton Jr. Avenue, making sure future generations remember the impact he left behind. But through all the memorials, the tributes, and the pain, one voice stayed completely silent. Yo Gotti's. No public shout out to a fellow Memphis legend, no condolences to the family, no response to the serious allegations tied to his brother. Nothing. That silence has pushed a lot of people in the streets to form their own opinions about responsibility and who might have known what. Beyond the two individuals who carried out the attack, Big Jook is gone. Justin Johnson is serving a life sentence, and Cornelius Smith will also serve time for his part. But the deeper questions, how far this whole setup stretched, who knew what, and when, may never be fully answered in any courtroom. What is clear is this: a feud that began over a simple rejected record deal in 2014 eventually led to the loss of Young Dolph in 2021. Pride, competition, and the fight over who truly ran Memphis all built up to a heartbreaking moment inside a local cookie shop on a Wednesday afternoon, where a 36-year-old father of two lost his life in a senseless way. No trophy, no chart success, no street title was worth that cost. Memphis lost someone the city genuinely loved. Even Yo Gotti once admitted that during his old Breakfast Club interview. Hip-hop lost a powerful independent voice who proved you could rise to the top without giving up your vision or signing your soul away. His two kids lost their father, his fiancée lost her partner, and an entire community lost a man who always gave back no matter how high he climbed. Meanwhile, Yo Gotti keeps expanding his brand, dropping music, and running CMG like everything is normal. But his legacy will always be connected to Dolph's tragic end, whether he wants it or not. His silence after the accusations involving his brother has become its own message, one the streets haven't forgotten and likely never will. The feud is finally over, not because of peace or respect, but because it ended in a heartbreaking moment inside a Memphis cookie shop and a cycle of retaliation that took multiple lives. In the end, nobody walked away winning. Memphis lost two of its own, Dolph to a tragic attack and Big Jook to what many believe was street payback. Families were left shattered, futures were cut short, and the music these two could have created together, the kind that could have lifted Memphis hip-hop even higher, will never exist. That's the real tragedy here. Not just what happened, but what could have happened if they had ever put the past behind them and united instead of clashing. And that's why Yo Gotti's silence hits so hard. By choosing not to address the pain, the loss, or the allegations tied to his brother, he's letting that empty space speak for him. And that silence says way more than any polished statement ever could. The streets hear it loud and clear. If you made it this far, make sure you like the video, hit that subscribe button, share it with someone who loves hip-hop stories, and I'll catch you in the next one.